We have all been there. You put the finishing touches to the best piece of artwork you've ever done in your life. You've realised the errors of your former uploads, and you've done everything you can to avoid making the same mistake. This time, you cannot be stopped.
Nothing can stop us!
You click upload.
Many unbearable hours later.
No! God! No! No! God, please, no!
So I'm sure we can all relate to that. Recently, I would say this year, I passed the 15,000 followers mark on ArtStation, and it has taken a long time to get there. I'm talking 8 years or so. But in that time, I've learned a few things about how to increase your likes, how to decrease them as well. And so today I wanted to share with you 4 methods for increasing your likes. Now, this isn't going to be a way to get you from going to no likes to thousands of likes, because really to get the big likes, you have to be well established, lots of followers, and producing amazing artwork. But this video is about increasing the likes that you are currently getting from where they are to a greater number, because I think it's a fairly straightforward process that is repeatable. But first, I want to go into 2 caveats. One is the fact that, as I just mentioned, quality of work is going to be a factor. But this is usually, this is an issue that I've struggled with, where I've had work that I thought was all right, but then just died, or work that I put a lot of effort into and died. So that's the one thing, is like quality is a factor. But the second thing is, should we really be chasing likes? Well, the fact of the matter is, if your work has more likes, then when people search on ArtStation, they will see your work come up higher up in the results. So if I were to go into ArtStation and search something like pirate ship, or snow or winter or something like that, my pieces can come up quite a bit. So if art directors are looking through ArtStation and they're going to see those pieces, they might hire you for a job. And so that's the use of why you would want to increase your likes, not just for ego, but for actual practical benefits. What I'm going to be teaching you today is literally how to get more likes out of your work, so that you're getting more efficient likes, so that you're not wasting your time working on portfolio pieces that's going to get less likes than it deserves, and to try and really rinse the most likes that you can out of a piece. So point number 1, single images versus multiple image uploads. So when you upload to ArtStation, you are told, did you know that projects with multiple assets are on average 54% more popular than those with a single image? Upload breakdown/process shots and get more visibility. But this is bullshit, as I have learned. I think it's probably a coincidence that it just so happens that some of the artwork that is at the top level gets a lot of likes, but they also happen to put in some shot breakdowns. But putting in more images is not going to lead to more likes. And the reason why I think this is, and this is what I've learned over years of trying this, is that when somebody sees a thumbnail and they click on the thumbnail, they want to judge the thing that they then see next. They don't want to be confused by scrolling and going, oh, what else is here? Oh, right. And then you've lost the like then. People want to just click it, see it, oh, and then they get that feeling of, oh, this is great, and then they hit like. And by adding more pieces, you're distracting them from that like. That's not a 100% ironclad fact. Like, there will be times when you click on a piece and you scroll down and you see loads of cool pieces, and the fact that there's loads of cool pieces makes you click like. Now that's different. But I'm talking about the idea that you've done one piece and it's just one finished piece, and you just want the most likes for that piece. Don't just add the Blender unrendered shot and some crappy sketches at the bottom. Now, there is one caveat to this, which is that if you do need to show, and this is the thing, this video is about likes. It's purely about likes. It's not about what the best portfolio work is to do, because if you want to show employers your actual process, that's different. And so there are two different motivations really for uploading to ArtStation. One is for employers and one is for other artists to like. And if you are wanting to impress employers, but you also want the likes, this is a little tip, a little secret tip. What you can do on ArtStation is upload your single image and then let the likes roll in, wait a while, and when the likes have sort of finished, as it were, then add your process after that. Because I'm fairly sure that a lot of process shots cause people's work to not get liked. I've seen, just from my personal experience, many times when I've uploaded a whole project, and this is the crux of what I'm trying to say here, you will spend ages and ages putting time into these pieces, uploading this shot, that shot, and the other shot, and it just dilutes the experience, you know. There is a time when you can maybe, if you did do quick sketches, and here's the thing, say you did a couple of sketches a day and you uploaded, here's my best sketches of the week. If you were able to do that once a week, that's not so bad, because you have just sketches. They're all more or less the same sort of thing. But if you want to deliver that one big finished piece and you want the most likes for it, then just upload that piece. And then the other thing is, sometimes a project is comprised of differing aspects. So it is wiser to split it into two different projects, as long as they are different enough and it doesn't just seem like a repeated upload. But there are some times when you have a project with some characters in and some vehicles and an environment, and you may as well separate them. I guarantee that you will get more likes overall across those three uploads if they're three different things versus putting it into one project. I guarantee that you will get more likes overall. Okay, tip number 2, the thumbnail. Thumbnail might well be the most important factor in the actual piece itself, because if the thumbnail is bad, then no one's going to click on it. In fact, if the thumbnail is bad enough, nobody will even see it. So let us just check out an example. So this is an example of where the thumbnail is so important that I actually changed the finished piece to accommodate the thumbnail. So this piece here, you can see the little guy and the building, and originally in this shot he was over to the left, and I realized when it came to thumbnail time that when I was choosing my thumbnail, he wasn't on the scene, and if I moved the camera over to the left, the building wasn't really in the scene. And I think a while ago I just would have left it at that and gone, oh well, I've got to pick it, but I realized I had to change the actual composition of the piece and bring him over, even though I really liked where he was, to accommodate the actual thumbnail. And these days when I'm creating a piece, unless I forget, and sometimes I forget, I will at some point change the actual composition of the main piece by putting a square over it and seeing how the thumbnail is going to fit, because if that thumbnail doesn't work, you're not getting clicked on. This is like good examples of thumbnails that will work, something like this, because there's the main guy and the focal point all within the same area. This works because we've got like the ship and then the focal point. This works. This kind of works. But there has been times I've been like, oh no, this is not going to work as a thumbnail. So like if we just have a little quick look on ArtStation right now, maybe we'll see some examples. Got the environment concept art. Like this here instantly is probably going to get, now right now my radar is on ones that don't work, which is why I went to it. This might get looked over because it's too dark. And there are some where you're just going to miss it, and there are some that are really going to pull you in. Like this is very bold. This I think you could easily miss this because there's not really a silhouette. Really people want to see a thing, a silhouette, something that's strong. What other examples? This you're probably going to click on. This is an amazing piece. What else is easy to miss? Something like this you're not really going to want to click on, even though it's clear. It's not very interesting. This you might miss out. This is not a good thumbnail. I mean, let's just look at it in case there is something good inside. But like, you could present, I think that would look better. You know, you could present this in a much cooler way. You could put that gun on a really cool, like as though it's on a concrete ground or something with debris on it or something like that, and have that as the thumbnail, the cool lighting on it. Then you go into the isolated shots, you know. So yes, thumbnail, very important. So the third tip is potentially a little subjective, but it's certainly a factor for a lot of people, and that is 2D versus 3D. So mainly this affects concept artists, but and it's not a golden rule, but it is something that I find affects things a lot, and that is 2D art gets more attention than 3D art usually, because people want to see that you did it by hand, basically, as opposed to using software to do the thing. And as well as that, 3D can often look way too digital, way too crisp. This is a huge issue in concept art, whereby people, art directors, people who are asking you to do jobs for them and so forth, if they want an illustration and you happen to do most of your work in 3D, they often don't like the 3D. Often. And I'm talking, I've lost, this is a separate subject, but I've lost a lot of work by doing too much 3D and not enough 2D. And what you find is that if you have an environment and you upload it, and it's very 3D-ish, with hardly any Photoshop over the top, for some reason it doesn't get a lot of likes. Also, this is another factor which is the next point touches upon as well. It takes a long time to do 3D. What people will tend to do is, if it looks like you only took an hour to do it with a few brush strokes, it will get a lot more attention. And there's a way to capitalize on that for the likes, because if you do happen to make artwork in 2D and you can do it efficiently and it can look okay, then you'll get a lot of likes and you can upload a lot of them. The 3D stuff usually takes a good few days to get something down, and so you can't upload as much of it. So here's an example of just how far this point can go. Okay, so this is like these are some good examples of the 2D versus 3D thing, and the putting a lot of time into it versus not putting a lot of time into it. So here's my point. I went out of my way to make this point and to prove it, because it's come up again and again, and I'd never really tested it. So I did this project. It took almost a month, and there's a lot of work gone into it, a lot of work. So that, and it got to the stage where I was just, by the time I was close to being finished, I could have done more, but I was just exhausted. I did some animation. It's all done in Unreal and created in Blender, and look at all these bits of software that I used. It took forever, and now it's got 773 likes, which is okay. But when it first came out, after a few days or whatever, it got like 300 and something likes. It really just, I thought it was, personally, and this is like the intro to this video, personally I thought it was going to be the biggest thing in my portfolio, because looking at this finished shot, now here's the thing, I wonder if I'd have just released this finished shot, would it have got more likes? Maybe. Because I was looking at my most successful pieces, which were like, this one is, I think, my first 2,000 like piece, and to me it's like a step up from that, and this only has, now again, 2,000 likes, one image, and a bit of a breakdown. So there's nothing else to look at. Was that the reason? Maybe. This image, and here's the other thing, this is me actually putting my money where my mouth is. I did this piece. It didn't get 2,000 likes within a week. It took it took a year or so to get those 2,000 likes. But when I was making this piece in Blender, there was a viewport, just the perspective viewport, and it was just sitting there on this, and I was like, that is a nice composition. So I rendered it out separately and uploaded it somewhere, maybe Facebook or something, and it got loads of attention, and I thought, I'm going to put that on ArtStation. And this took a lot less time than the other piece, and got more than half the likes. And if I'd have put this within that, it could have even cost it likes. It could have even gone down in likes. So separating it out got the most bang for my buck. Another example is this guy. So I upload this, and gets by now, like I say, you can judge it in two ways. You can judge it over the course of several months to a year, or you could judge it within the first week or so. Usually the most important time is the first week or so, because then it has a chance of getting on the front page, getting more exposure and so forth. After that, and once it's gone down the front page, you're then just relying on people searching for it to really find it using the search terms. So the first week is kind of the most critical thing, and so I think that's how you should really judge this. So like I say, a few hundred likes after the first week. I then released this, which got double the likes and took just a couple of days, if that, like a day and a half. And again, just one piece. Then I went to town on doing this, which again I thought was going to be my biggest piece ever. I'd had a while from doing like long form portfolio pieces, and I went into this another 3 weeks, lot of time, painstakingly making all the things, really cool shots. I was very pleased with this as I was making it, and again, like the intro to this video, I thought this is just going to go nuts. And look at the likes. This is a month ago, so this is going to top out in the 600s and just not really go much from there. I did a character, I did boot design, I did helmet design, I did this mech thing, and environment design, thumbnails. I later on added the videos at a later date, and it's just so weak. But I reckon if I'd have just released, I don't know, that, it would have got more, or the same. So the extra work is kind of, in the likes sense, has been wasted. And then I released, and this is why I was like, right, I'm going to prove a point here. I made this in Blender. It took about a day. I painted over it in Photoshop to make it look like sort of an oil painting or a traditional painting. And I put it on Facebook. People went kind of a bit nuts over it, and then I put it on LinkedIn, and people liked it there. And I thought, even though I didn't really think it was that good, put it on ArtStation. 1.7k likes, and that is within a month. Like, that's in a year. Maybe this will overtake as my most successful piece, which is very, very mind-blowing when you think about it. If that done in a day, just with using a plugin that gets data from Google Maps and puts it like a city. I didn't build any of this. I just lit it and rendered it and painted over the top. But likes get you likes, and that's the thing. You know, something like this, which is another city, this took like a couple of weeks, and it's the same likes, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy. So the 2D versus 3D thing, it's kind of 3D, but it's quick and it looks 2D-ish. This is the thing, I tried to make it not look 3D. This looks fully 3D. Again, this looks a bit painterly, kinda. This looks 3D and is a big project, and goes back to my previous point of uploading more than one piece. And so we're starting to see it come together. This was super painterly, loads of likes. So yeah, 2D versus 3D is a big factor, and this here was an example of painting over your 3D renders, because I thought, finally, I'm just going to have to start making my 3D just look 2D, because if you were to look at this in pure 3D, it doesn't look very impressive. So I'd recommend, for those of you who are concept type artists or even illustrators, but you do a lot of 3D, you know, follow the processes so far. Single image, make it look a little bit painterly if you can, and make that thumbnail really shine. Okay, onto the fourth point. Okay, onto the fourth point and the final point, and that is quantity versus quality. This is, see, all of these points are really big. This is also just huge. If you were to do nothing else but focus on this one, it would be, it alone would get you way more likes. So for the longest time I was just trying to increase quality, which you should as an artist. You're always going to want to be a qualitative artist. So let's not pretend, because the reason why I'm saying this is because I often get sent work and portfolios from people who are really substandard, and they're like, where's my job, why don't I get any likes? And it's because their work isn't very good. But so you have to get better, and that's probably a separate subject. But what I'm talking about is we all know that we are capable of getting a really nice looking piece if we spend a long time on it. I can spend weeks and weeks on a piece and just polish it and polish it and polish it, or even a painting. If we're talking in the 2D realms, you can do a 2D painting and just go in and paint and paint and paint for days and days. But I'm convinced the age that we live in now, so this is not just relevant in general, but this is relevant today especially, with social media being so important to artists. Quantity is more important than quality. The other factor is within that is you got to be able to, you know, sketch quickly, and if you keep producing and producing, you'll actually probably get better and better and better at being quick. It's a golden rule for many artists to follow, that they have to prove to themselves that every single day they can do a little bit of a quickly finished piece, just something quick and finished. Every single day is like this great discipline that I hear from all walks of artists. So it's not just a good discipline to get you likes, but it's a good discipline to get you better. And the fact of the matter is, as I mentioned before, if you can produce a finished painting in a day and upload that, imagine what would happen. Upload that every day. There's a great artist who I'll show you now who's like a good example of that. Okay, so let's look up this artist. So this is a great example. Look at how loose this guy's work is. Andreas Rocha. Super loose. Little sketch. But look at the volume. Look at the sheer volume. And as I said before, 2D. People love it. I mean, it doesn't look... This work here, it's not that difficult. You can just see this was done in a few brush strokes. But the volume is there, and look at the number of followers. 84,000 followers. So if you were to upload like one loose painting per day, or even, let's just be conservative and say, if you uploaded, you made a painting every day and you uploaded the best one every week, that's 4 paintings a week. 4 paintings a month, which would be 40 uploads in a year. You know, if you were consistent enough, you could upload, you know, if you did sketches that were fairly quick, you could build up to doing 2 a day, and then you would have your best one as the single upload, and maybe you could upload your best sketches of the week, and that would be a separate upload. Because most people, I mean, the fact is you have to also work, I suppose, and that is something that I need to factor in as well, is like what are you doing with your client jobs? This is also good though, if you can sketch quickly, then you can probably work this within your job's time and manage it that way. Some people can do a painting in a couple of hours, and so this guy actually sells his tutorials as well, and I think they're just a couple of hours each, because that's interesting. If you can do like a couple of hours in a painting, oh my god, that should be your goal. And it's been my goal, but I've never actually worked towards it. So yeah, I've known for years that I should be trying to do the holy grail, finish a painting in 2 hours. If you can do that, then the world is your oyster, because you can churn out content, and that has a big impact on social media. Forget ArtStation. You know, you can do that and you can be uploading to Instagram. If you can just do a couple of hour painting, you know, maybe you would see it as relaxing to do at the end of a workday. Then you could be uploading to Instagram regularly, and then then the next step is to record your process, and then you can upload that to social media, and it will just snowball on from there. And all of this is without having to go to the really high levels of quality that we often see on ArtStation that makes us feel intimidated. And I know you could sort of get a gauge for what your ceiling is as an artist. And I know that I'm 45, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I had some basic grounding in art when I was in high school as well, so it wasn't starting from scratch for 10 years, but 10 years of grinding, and I know that my ceiling is like here, and if I want to get the big jobs, then it's here, and I don't think I can hit that. But what I can do is quantity, or, well, I haven't yet proved that to myself. That is something that I myself am a work in progress, but I could potentially do quantity. I guess the issue is that I'm a bit on the slower side, and I need to get quicker. So hugely important, and I think it works in social media in general. Quantity. If you feel like you're not going to hit those massive stratospheric levels of art where you see people's art on ArtStation that blows you away and they get like 5,000 likes every single time they upload, quantity is king. Okay, just some final notes now that I've put in my little notepad thing. And that is the time of upload can be a factor, so obviously be wary of uploading on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday, because as you get to the weekend, people are less engaged on social media, and well, they are more likely, it's more likely that they could be out for the weekend, traveling, seeing friends, family, so they may not be looking at their artwork. So I usually try to upload on a Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Usually people are just ready on a Monday to just sit down and engage with the art community, so I think Monday's good, but that's just my gut feeling. But certainly be careful of the weekends. And I personally, again, I don't know about the actual time of day, I try to upload just as the west coast of America is waking up, so that's my personal preference. You got to make sure and watch the trending page on ArtStation. So you know, look at the chosen category that you have uploaded for, which is a factor as well. When you upload a piece, you get to choose like 3 categories, and I find that the environment concept art is probably the most popular, I think. Concept art, environment concept art, and sometimes I have to throw in illustration. I'm not quite sure if that's particularly popular, but if you were to want, well, it's hard to say because there's competition as well, but the most eyes, I think, are on the environment concept art channel and the regular concept art channel. And then you have the keywords or the tags that you can put in your painting that goes at the bottom, and that's quite key. Some people don't use that, but it really is useful. You can use seemingly as many as you want, and so for me, you know, I try and think broadly. I'm doing a pirate painting. I'm going to put pirate ship, skull, if there's a skull in there. And I'm surprised whenever I'm searching through ArtStation for inspiration, I often see my own work coming up because I put some decent tags in there. So tags are important. And I think that pretty much covers it. So I hope you got a lot out of this video. It's I genuinely think that if you were to follow these points, that you would see a significant increase in likes. But always try to be getting better. If you can combine all of this with, you know, quality as well. That's, I guess, a separate subject, how to make your art better. But we're all on that journey, so you probably have a decent idea of where that's going and how to get there. Okay, so good luck with it, and I read all of my comments and answer all of them as long as I see them, so hit me up in the comments with any questions, and yeah, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Any comment helps the channel, and I could do with some help on this channel. Thank you.